Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Brim Fishing Project. And we are back in the Hobies this week. We are headed off to Forster for the round 3 of the Hobie Fishing Series, which was held on the 12th and 13th of April. And the round sponsor was one of my favorites, Pro Lure. They have been great sponsors for a lot of tournaments and just a lot of stuff. So appreciate those guys. All right, what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to roll the intros and tell you all about it. I had the good fortune of fishing this one, but not doing very well, but is what it is. All right, here's the intros and then we'll get into it. Here we go.
Welcome to the Brim Fishing Project. This is where you need to be every Tuesday to find out all the latest tips and tricks to help you target brim on lures. You'll get to hear from some of Australia's elite brim competition anglers and see how they were able to achieve their results in competitions around the country. Now, here is your host, the 2019 Hobie Kayak Fishing World Champion, Andrew Deeth.
All right, so as you guys know, this is one of my favorite rounds. The only thing is I didn't catch a lot of great fish. I did have a good time. I still enjoy it. And the other good thing is, I didn't get beaten by Carl. I didn't exactly beat him, but I didn't get beaten by him. Anyway, Luke Rogan on top. Can you believe it? Absolutely on fire. The world champion in second, and Ryan Honeybrook, who was just on fire across a number of different tournaments. Anyway, look, I might go through the top 10. Greg Cribbett, who did very well in the next round. Mitchell Taylor, another round winner. Jared Hickman, who did well at the Georges River. Of course, Glenn Allen, Adam Layla, and Jamie Cole in ninth, rounded out the 10 by Francis DiMartina. Anyway, cool top 10 there. Congratulations to those guys. All right, let's get into the specifics. Now, the interesting thing about this is near perfect conditions. So Saturday, or at least in terms of the fish activity, 94 in the fish activity wheel, major bite period at 9:54 through to 12:24, low tide at 1:53 a.m. at 0.033, high tide at 8:08 at 1.36. Bear in mind, these tides are down the front. In reality, most of the times I find that Forster is somewhere around about 3 hours behind. On the Sunday, 100 in the fish activity wheel. Absolutely amazing. Major bite period at 10:34 through to 1:04 p.m. Low tide at 2:33, high tide at 12:43 at 1:32. So in terms of tides and where we launched, I think the Hobie guys got that pretty much spot on in terms of not having to push against the current to get where you needed to go. Given we launched down the front and everyone basically went upriver in round terms, I think that was pretty good. The interesting thing for me, I think I weighed 2.13 kilos for the 2 days, only 870 grams for my 3 fish. Got a little bit of a rev up from Brett on the next monthly, over via text message. Backed it up on the Sunday with 1.26, so 870, 1.26. Not very spectacular. However, I did get my 6 fish, and that's always a goal. Anyway, I think we're going to get straight into the interviews. Here we go. Coming in third place, we have an angler dropping 1.85 kilos on the Saturday, backing it up on the Sunday with a bigger bag of 2.03, giving him a total of 6 fish for 3.88. And third place, I'd like to welcome back to the Brim Fishing Project, Ryan Honeybrook. Welcome back, mate.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Mate, first chat on a Hobie round. How good's that?
Yes, I've been it's been my goal to get on a Hobie round and get a podium place and get on here, and it's finally ticked it off the bucket list.
Yeah, how good is that? Mate, and Forster, definitely one of my favourite locations, and you said that you spent a bit of time up there outside of competitions.
Yes. I'd probably nearly call it my local waterway, even though I live 4 hours away from it.
Yeah,
I've probably spent more time on Forster than I have the harbour, Georges, Hawkesbury. I genuinely would think I've spent more time on that waterway than any other waterway in New South Wales.
Yeah, fantastic. How good's that? All right, mate, given that, did you get a chance to get up there and have a bit of a pre-fish or have a look around?
No, crazy schedule recently, work, life, everything. So no, I didn't get up there for a pre-fish. I've got a mate up there, Kai from Stoke Lures, who works on the oyster farms. So there was plenty of chats, calls, messages. Just, yeah, any info I could get out of him, I got. So that was my pre-fish pretty much.
And that was helpful?
Very helpful.
Okay.
It pretty much decided what I was doing. I had an idea in my head, and he confirmed it. He said he thinks they could be there, and so that was the plan.
Very good. And what was the name of his lure brand?
Stoke Lures.
Stoke Lures. Okay, cool. All right. Well, we can roll straight into Saturday. You got a pretty decent, we discussed before, like for 1.85 for Forster. There's plenty of times where that would be an average bag, but in the context of this comp, it was a pretty good bag. So, tell us about how you went about catching that.
Yeah, so the plan was, it's not really my style, but I was going to go down the front. I said, no, I feel like I'm going to hit the wall, talking with Kai. He's been down there a couple of nights fishing with bait, and he said, they're there. He goes, they are there. They're just not in the huge numbers yet. He did mention to me that the previous rain that they had, that it washed a lot of water down, so I thought some fish might have started to move down there for spawning.
Yeah.
So I went, the current's coming in, and you were to turn about 10 o'clock, or the water direction would change about 10 o'clock. So I've got probably till about 9 to sort of fish the wall, and then I can bugger off up to some racks with the running tide still.
Yeah, right. Okay. That's an interesting plan.
Yeah, that was my sort of plan, and it started all right when I turned, and I realised I was the only one heading down there, and I went, okay, this is either going to be really good for me or not good at all.
Well, mate, it was better than about 57 other people, so it was pretty good.
Yes. So turned that way, punched it out, which was a bit of a mission into that current. It was moving pretty quick through there. But the good thing about the wall, because you get blocked off at the rock pool, so that left-hand side, the Tuncurry side, on the running tide, it kind of acts as a really big eddy in there. And so once you push in towards that wall, the current's actually moving the other way. So I started at the very end of the boundary and worked my way towards the co-op and was pedaling against the water current.
Okay, wow.
Because it's actually eddies that much in there.
It's eddying the other way.
Yeah, so I went, I'm going to start here, work away. Cranky crab tied on. What else did I have? I had an aqua tied on, 1/20th hidden weight, 2.5 inch crabby, just sort of the standard stuff, and a grub I think I had tied on. I went, I'll just start with that.
Yeah.
I started with the crab, no luck, moved across to an aqua, straight away, got a hit, went, oh, okay, there was a fish, come back in, half the aqua gone.
Okay.
I went, okay. Yep.
Maybe.
Pulled it back in, changed it up, went a bit further, hooked a good one, and it went a bit, and then it busted me off. I don't think it was a brim. It felt wrong. I think it might have been a tailor. It didn't feel any rubbing. It was just a clean hook up, felt the weight snap.
Yeah, right.
So, and I think that was a tailor that bit me off. I caught one about 5 minutes later. That was about 25 centimetres. So I went, okay, I think that a tailor just had engulfed the aqua before. I then proceeded to go through 6 or 7 aquas, just getting eaten by leather jackets, tailor, just munching the whole lure. Crabbies as well. I went through a crazy amount.
Yeah. I
could see the brim on the sounder, I could, but I could also just see them. The water was that clear. I could see them swimming around the bottom, so I knew they were there. So that probably would have been not until 8 o'clock at least, 8:30. I'd gotten down to the first boat that's moored there, and just off the back edge, threw an aqua in, a couple of twitches off right against tight to the wall, sunk down and felt the clunk. And okay, this is what I'm here for. Hooked it, kayak straight in reverse, straight out to the middle, back the drag off, fought it for a while, and it sort of played up, but I got it out pretty well. Had a whole crowd on the wall watching.
Nice.
So making it a bit more of some anxious times when I know I've got a crowd watching as well.
Yeah.
Got it in, and I sort of looked at, okay, this is the whole reason I come down here. I knew there should be some big fish here. Size, going off what my bag weight was, because I didn't weigh it or measure it.
Okay.
I threw it straight in the live well because I knew it was a good fish, and if I was upgrading that at the end of the day, then I was having a really good day.
A good day.
Going off my weights of my fish, I think it would have been 8 to 850.
Okay. All right. So
grams.
kicker.
Yeah. It was one that I knew more than likely be staying in the well by the end of the day.
And that was first fish of the comp?
First fish of the comp.
How good's that?
Apart from a little tailor and that, first fish of the comp.
Very
I
good.
went, all right, beautiful. It wasn't the longest fish, but it did have sort of like bulkiness to it, big shoulders.
Yeah.
And I went, okay, that's why I come down here. So that got me really excited from there. Proceeded down through all the moored boats. Same again, just tearing through aquas, crabbies.
Yeah.
And that's all I could really get a bite on. Grub, crab weren't getting bites.
Mm-hmm.
They were getting bites. I could see the fish there and some big ones, big blue noses coming out from underneath, looking at me, swimming back under. Just couldn't get them to bite. So that really threw me off, and I was a bit like, oh, all right, well, they're here. I don't know if I want to hang around, and I've been sick the last couple of weeks, so the brain fog was just, I wasn't thinking straight. And I was like, all right, what am I doing? So I'm going to go down to the bridge. Kept fishing all the way along the wall down to the bridge, got to the bridge. No one was there. I was surprised. I thought there still would have been someone there.
Yep.
I sort of positioned myself, threw a crab out on the bridge, straight along the edge, rattle, pulled up, brought one in, went, oh, okay, there's number 2.
That's 2.
That wasn't too bad. That was about a 500 grammer.
Okay.
And I think that ended up staying in the well through the whole day as well.
Yeah.
So I was happy with that. I said, all right, there's another fish, not too bad. Proceeded to fish that for another 20 minutes and got nothing. I mean, looking at the time, sort of getting towards 9:30, I said, I've got to start moving before this current turns, because I don't want to be pedaling against that water that's moving through there. It's too hard to get to where I want to go.
100%.
So, yeah, proceeded from there, straight across to the paddock. First set of racks. Seen Rick King there, who was stuck on oyster racks, which was quite amusing for me. Watching him trying to go to the front of the kayak, someone trying to push the back of his kayak off the pole.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was a good little fun. It made me laugh a bit and sort of get a bit lighthearted and go, okay, I can relax now and let's find some fish.
Yeah.
Then, yeah, the only fish that I lost all weekend happened 5 minutes after that.
Right.
Pulled up to a set of leases, did the big suicide cast in. Wasn't until the lure had hit the water that I realised there was another set of racks in front of where I was that I thought was clear. And, of course, as soon as I seen that, I felt the clunk, set the hook, aqua again, and it comes straight to the surface, big bronze side to it. And I said, oh, okay, this is a good fish, big bronze, big head on it. And I could keep it above on the water surface, and then, of course, as I got to that last set of racks, got its head back in the water and wrapped me on the pole. So I free spooled it, it come out, it went back.
Yep.
And then, eventually just popped, brought it back in. My whole leader just had bits hanging off it everywhere. It was 1 leader was about 8 liters hanging off it. It was just torn to shreds. So yeah, so that one hurt, especially when I only had 2 in the well. So I went, oh, that would have been nice to get that one as a third.
100%.
It would have been really nice. Yeah, so pretty much just there. Fished with Rick for a bit, worked my way around. Just kept sort of hitting sections in there that I know fish hold. The water started to go slack, so they started to push out and were sort of free swimming around in sections, which I generally find up there. It's when they're harder to catch because they are in random spots that they're not tucked in behind a washboard, a pole or something. So I used that time to sort of push up a bit further. I mainly wanted to go look at a spot because I know there's plenty of big flathead there, and I love seeing big flathead scoot off from under the kayak.
Yeah, cool.
So that's the main reason I went there. As I pulled in there, there's just old sets of rails. I noticed 3 or 4 brims scoot off from the first set.
Right. Okay.
Oh, okay. I know they're in here, but they looked all right. I had a sprat tied on by then. Threw it out, a couple of hops across the top of the rack, bang, hooked up, off it went, and managed to get that one in. It was a bit of fins were stuck on the sand. The fish was trying to go one way, current was trying to push me the other way from what was there. Right as that rain come through that we had, that was torrential rain, it was all happening, got that in the well. I think I might have got a third one before then, actually, a small one, a 26.5 tip, so it was barely legal.
Yeah.
And then this one was my third and final fish, which worked out to be the last fish of the day that went in the well.
Okay.
That was probably about 11 o'clock by then, by the time I'd worked around there.
Yep.
And yeah, it was another roughly 500 gram fish, which works out. So
Yeah, that sounds about right.
yeah, sounds about right. And so they weren't, my two other fish weren't massive, but they were sort of bag fillers, enough to hold it out. And
Yeah.
that was sort of it. So I hit that, and I was sort of in two minds. Kai had given me a spot that he'd been pulling out for the last 2 weeks every day. They've been pulling oyster racks out.
Yep.
And he said they're sitting in there and they're just feeding on worms, crabs, anything that's coming out with the pole.
Right.
So I wanted to really push up to there and have a quick look. So I did. No luck. By the time I got there, water movement wasn't right. The dirty water really started to push down to there.
Yep.
In hindsight, looking back at it now, and now I've spoken to him after, he did say they were only pulling poles out in the mornings there when the water's been clearer. So if I had got there earlier, maybe I could have found some more fish. But
yeah,
that was just by that stage. Yeah, it was probably 11:30, 12 o'clock by the time I got there. And then made a last minute decision to push back down to the front.
Okay.
Said, I'm going to go down those fish that I saw on the run in tide. Let's see if they're biting on the run out tide.
Yeah.
Yeah, just not thinking straight, knowing as soon as I got down there, that wall is way too hard to fish on the run out tide.
Yeah.
There's no eddy there. It's straight pumping current.
Yeah.
That is flying through there.
Interesting.
I lasted 10 minutes, not even 10 minutes there. And I turned and bailed and pretty much pedalled back to the paddock again.
Right. Ouch.
So wasted a fair bit of time going down there, realising I'd made the wrong decision, turned, pushed back up to the paddock.
Burnt your legs out.
Burnt my legs out, yeah. And fished there for the last half an hour or so.
Okay.
Yeah, and didn't get any others, but just sort of was looking at some spots for the next day to see where I could find another fish.
Yeah. So this is what I've got you. You got I think your first fish on a aqua.
Yep.
And then aqua on a 128th or 140th or something like that.
I was using a 120th.
120th.
Just to get that, bit of a sink a bit, mainly for the wall is what I was using the 120th for, just to sink it down a little bit deeper, quicker.
Is that a jig head then or a hidden weight?
No, a hidden weight, a 120th size 1H heavy gauge.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And then off to the bridge for one on a cranker crab?
One on a cranker crab, and then up to the racks, and then one on a sprat. So 3 different lures for 3 fish.
Mix it up a little bit. And on what leaders were you running generally?
Generally, so down on the wall, I was using, I had 6, 8, and 10 tied on.
Yep.
The 8 pound on the aqua, 10 pound on the crabbies, and I had 6 on the cranker crab.
Okay. Wow. I thought that would have been the other way.
I had it tied on from a while ago, and I was being very lazy on the Friday night, and I did not retie that rod.
Okay. All right.
And so I still had the 6, and I said, I'll run the risk, I'll run the gauntlet. Yeah.
Very good.
So
very good. All right. Where did we have you on the overnight on the Saturday? What sort of position did you end up in?
I was 5th place.
5th place. Okay.
5th place from memory, yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty good. All right.
So, yeah, I was up there, but still, Rogan had a really nice bag, and so Jack's, I had a fair gap to jump.
100%.
To catch up to those.
100%. All right. So, Sunday, are you going to go back to the wall?
I was deciding. It was all Saturday night with all the boys, with Rick, Warren, Chris, and Daryl, who in the house deciding what I do. Do I go down to the wall or push straight to the racks? Took a lot, and I probably didn't actually decide until sitting in the kayak while Chris was counting down from 10.
Yeah, right. I've done that.
Then I decided I'm just going to go to the wall.
Okay. Yep.
I only need one more like that again.
Yep.
And that will help.
100%. All right. So the tide was a bit later on the Sunday, which means I think it would have been a bit easier paddle across.
Easier paddle, and I stayed on the Forster side.
Okay.
And hugged the wall and then tucked across last minute and held that way. As soon as I got there, everything was different.
Yeah, right.
No bait on the sounder. I asked around and got 2 packets of aquas from Blake because I went through so many yesterday, I might need some more today. I fished there till about 9:30 and went through 1 aqua.
Right. No way.
No hits, no nothing. Water movement was completely different. The water clarity was different. I knew I had about 45 minutes of tide difference. So I stuck it out until then. I don't know why. I don't know if it was the rain overnight. I'm not too sure. Just it was completely different.
Okay.
I just, couldn't, even when I got to the boats, the moored boats, I couldn't even see the fish there again.
Yeah, right.
They weren't, but there were smaller ones were there, but none of the bigger ones were there.
Okay.
Whether they were sitting down deep and I couldn't see them, I'm not sure. But yeah, it really threw me off because I could not see anything.
Okay. All right.
So that had the heart pumping, boosted it straight from there, went up, go straight to the racks, do what I love doing, what I know, straight up to the racks I went. Hit a spot that I hit late on Saturday that I seen fish in, cranked a few in there. I had a crank on in there. Couldn't stick hooks in a fish.
Okay.
Felt the hit, rattle, like load up, pull hooks.
Oh.
And I'm going, don't be one of those days. I'm in a good position. I just need 3 fish. Proceeded to push around to the other side. Rick was still in his spot on the other side of the racks, so I pushed it on the opposite side, and we're yelling across to each other. And as I was fishing, I looked up to the left, and there was a really, really shallow bit that you can only get the kayak in there on high tide, like the top of the tide, which it pretty much was. So I thought, I'm going to push up into there. No one probably would have fished it yesterday. If they did, it would have only been for the first half an hour of the morning. So they've had all yesterday afternoon and all last night to sort of replenish, pushed in there, wedged up against the fence, threw an aqua in and felt the clunk, and it was on for young and old.
Right.
Going one way, current going the other, kayak pulling away from the fence.
Oh.
It was chaos. Had me around a pole, got it out from a pole, then realised I had to lift it over the fence to get it into the kayak.
Yep.
After knowing that it's rubbed against the pole. And then I saw the size of it and went, this is not good.
Yep.
Rick's yelling from the other side, just get it in the net, doing everything I could, got it in the net, sat down, a lot of relief.
Wow.
Yeah, it was the biggest of the day and the comp for me. So it would have been going off the bag weight again, it would have been about 1 kilo.
Wow, that's awesome.
Same again. It was 40.5 tip. I measured that one.
Okay, yeah, so that's pretty much 1 kilo.
That was the length. Yeah, the length of yellow ruler. So I was happy with that one.
Yeah.
Straight in the well.
Straight in the well, not to be upgraded.
Yep. Yes. I said, all right, I don't mean to be greedy, but 1 or 2 more will help. 1 or 2 more will be nice.
Yes.
Kept just working around the racks that I sort of thought I'm going to try hit spots that maybe other people haven't and stuff that I usually wouldn't throw at.
Yeah.
We caught smaller fish, lots more smaller fish on Sunday.
Yeah.
But not legal. Eventually got a 26.5 tip.
Okay.
I wouldn't even say half tip, 26.1 tip.
Yep. All right. So you've got a kilo fish and a just legal. What happened next?
So I pushed across to heading towards Wallace Island on the left-hand side there. There's a couple of set of old oyster sheds. They've got lots of floating racks out the front.
Yeah.
Floating big bollard ones. I thought people do fish them, but they do replenish quite quick, those ones. So I'm going to push across there and have a look at those. As soon as I got to the first one, I could just see multiple fish sitting underneath it. So I said, okay.
Nice.
At this point, I was throwing a crabby on 10 pound in crystal clear water. So I don't know how this is going to go. First one threw in and I watched them all turn and chase it down. I went, this is going to be good. Loaded up straight away and got this one was about a 550 gram fish. Oh, no, this is the small one. This one was about a 450 gram fish.
Okay. But definitely legal.
Straight in. So, yeah, definitely legal. I went, beautiful. There's my 3.
Yeah.
Which was good. Not going to be, I said I wasn't going to be greedy and I wanted 3, but now I want an upgrade.
Absolutely.
So I kept looking through there. Each one had fish. I think I pulled a couple of small fish off, no upgrades, just under legal. The current was really starting to move by then. And as I got to the last one, I was on the wrong angle coming into it. And I'm looking, I went, I'm on the wrong angle. And off the back of the rope, just a bit down from the actual set of racks, I could see 4 big fish sitting off the back of the rope.
Really?
And I went, they're good fish. I was worried about if I turned the kayak and then pedaled up from behind them, I was going to spook them.
Yep.
So I threw the crabby out way upstream of them as I was flying past, free spooled, let a heap of line out and tried to turn the kayak. As I was doing that, I watched all 4 just dart straight for the lure.
Really?
And I went, they're on it. I went, I've just got to flick the bail over and hope. Flick the bail over, bang,
Yep.
load it up. Of course, out of the four, I hooked the smallest one. But it was still a good mid-30s fish.
Nice.
Probably just under 600 grams.
Nice. And so solid upgrade.
Yes, so that's a good upgrade. Threw out the 26.1 centimetre for a good 600 odd gram fish.
Yeah, very good. Very good. So, mate, we've got you, I think it was, I can't remember what the first big fish was on.
The first big fish was on an aqua.
On an aqua. The second
one was on a crabby.
Yep.
By that stage, and then the last one was on a crabby
as well. Very good. All right. After that, how'd you go? Were you able to upgrade at all anymore?
No, that was me for the day. I proceeded to move up to Wallace Island. I knew a couple of bigger fish spots up towards that back way that I know. So I've seen bigger fish and I've caught bigger fish in socially fishing before.
Yeah.
So I thought, I've just got to go. I need a really good upgrade now to really give me a good shot at. I should hold my position. I need a really good upgrade and I might have a shot at winning it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was it. The legs, we were about to cop a hiding and off I went and pedalled up. I didn't really fish that much more from then. I mainly just ducked into sets of racks that I knew hold bigger fish.
Yeah.
5 or so casts, on to the next one. Oh, there you go. All right. So, as it turns out, you came back with a better bag. You just hit over 2 kilos at 2.03. And fortunately, it was enough to land you in third place. So your first podium in a Hobie, which is pretty awesome. Yes, I was stoked about that. I was happy. I knew I had just probably 2 kilos just over. I was hoping to at least hold me in my position, keep me in a good top 5 position, and to come in once we got back and started chatting around. I thought, I think I might be up a bit higher now, and sort of figured out that I'd be about third, and then spoke with Luke, spoke with Jack, and went, okay, definitely third. They've got me covered.
They've got you covered. Oh, fair enough.
Yes.
All right, mate. Well, for third place, what did you get to take home?
From memory, I think it was $590 and my first trophy. So I was stoked with that one.
How good is that?
Yeah.
And what about AC spots? I can't remember where they went down to, I assume.
I'm not sure. I can't remember. Yeah. I'm not sure with these ones.
Yeah, okay. I guess we will find
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Fair enough. All right, mate. Unless there's something else to talk about the fishing, mate, I reckon it's time to shoot off. But before we do that, is there anyone that you want to give a shout out to or say thank you to?
Yes, Steve from Tackle Addiction. He's been helping out with a lot through this year. Yeah, the fact I could just rock up to his shop and go in and have some lunch or something and have a chat with him and play with some lures in the test tank. It's
oh, nice.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, head into him. He's helped out a lot, and just with getting my orders when I'm being really lazy and late and message him last minute.
Yep,
he's there to get them ready and shoot them off to whoever's coming past to get them out to me, or if I stop in there after work.
Oh, very good.
Yeah,
very good, mate. Who was I can't remember the name of the guys that helped you out with the info.
Kai from Stoke Lures.
Stoke Lures, yeah.
Yes, he needs a big shout out for helping me out there. He definitely gave me a little test lure that he's making of a little oyster lure. So
yeah, nice.
I didn't fish it too much, but yeah, definitely will be a good lure up there.
Oh, very good. All right, mate. That is awesome, mate. Thank you for coming on the show. You had not 100% at the moment, so I appreciate you pushing through.
That's all right. No dramas.
And we'll see you on the next one.
No worries. Thank you very much.
Thanks, mate. Okay, so up next in second place, we have an angler dropping 3 fish for 2.11 kilos, backing it up with a very similar bag on the Sunday of 3 fish for 2.18, giving him a total of 4.29. I have the current Hobie World Kayak Fishing Champion, all the way from the Barrow Waters RSL. I have Jack Gammie. Welcome to the show, mate.
Thank you, Andrew. It's a pleasure. Don't get to star on the show very much, unfortunately.
No, mate. What's going on? Only when you win the world.
Only when you win the world, and they're few and far between. So you and I both know how hard they are to win.
100%.
You have everything to go right. But no, it's good starting to enjoy my fishing again and finding the love for tournament fishing, I suppose.
Yeah, and look, I would say while you haven't been on the show, you have been up the pointy end quite a lot anyway. Like you're towards the top. So
yeah, just not so much not driven by results anymore, but just going out to have a good time fishing and fish with friends. So
that's it. Once you're the world champion, mate, there's nothing else to prove, mate.
No, but I've still got a few accolades to try and get to get the Triple Crown we have here in Australia and try and chase down Richard Summerton, but that's a long way off. Everything's got to go right for the rest of the season, or for a season in particular, and then everything's got to go right for 4 days across an Australian Championship. So that's not the easiest thing to do.
100%, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. All right, mate, let's turn our attention to Forster. Did you get up there and have a pre-fish?
No, I figured I'd fish the place enough and just trust my gut a little bit there, and I went snapper fishing instead with a schoolmate of mine that's moved up there. So that was my pre-fishing, throwing 20-pound gear and catching 4 or 5 kilo reds off the coast of Forster.
Right. Okay, very good. So you got some decent ones?
Yeah, I got one up to 75 or 76 centimetres. I got one on a plastic to 60, 65, and then a couple of small panties that come home in the esky for dinner.
Very nice. Good. Very nice. That sounds pretty good. No golf?
No, golf was Thursday. I shot up to Port Macquarie firsthand and then caught up with my uncle, lost at golf. It's the only thing I can't beat him at the moment is golf. It's the story of my life at the moment. And then, just cruised down and had a relaxing build up to a fishing comp, finding that's far more enjoyable than the stress of and worry about pre-fishing.
Mate, sounds like a fantastic plan. Mate, and big shout out to Mitch Madison, who likes to tell us when he beats you at golf.
Oh, yeah. He's like a, what do we call it, a parrot or a lorikeet, just on repeat, on repeat, on repeat. So,
oh, mate, he's a plover.
Yeah, absolutely. Just a pest. Absolute pest.
Fair enough on you, Mitt. All right, mate, let's get down to the fishing, mate. So Saturday morning, we headed off. The tide was ripping upriver. Tell us what you did.
Mate, tide was perfect for what I wanted to do. I had a game plan already set going in before even the weekend kicked over, and that was to target shallow rock bars and the oldest, gnarliest racks I could find. So old slats and rails and all that sort of stuff. And started not too far from the launch site, actually, and pulled hooks on a couple of fish early on plastics underneath boat holes, and then moved on to a shallow rock bar. And I think I got 5 or 6 in a row, one after the other, to fill my bag, and got a couple of small upgrades, and then throw on a Pro Lure super shallow crank.
Yeah, right.
And then I moved on and to other stretches or looked for other rock bars and made the most of the high tide up on the rock bars, because most of the time the brim, you'll find them tailing and feeding actively, looking for crabs and busting up oysters and old mussels and prawns and all that sort of stuff that lives inside those rock bars. So find shallow cranks are one of the best ways to cover water fast, and a very high success rate on getting the brim in the boat.
Yeah, okay. So why the Pro Lure?
I find the speed of which you can retrieve the super shallow Pro Lure far better than what everything else is on the market. The other stuff, you got to fish it really, really slow, which is perfect for a glass out condition when the bite's super, super subtle. But when there's a little bit of a breeze on the water, a fair bit of current, you want something that's going to track and swim really, really fast and not tangle itself up and wobble on the surface a great deal like some of the other brands out there. But yeah, it's just the perfect size. The black, the motor oil, and the combat were probably the 3 colours that did the most damage for me in that. And then the Hurricane Fat 37 in camo crab. I just find that Forster for some reason works better than any other colour.
Wow, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
How was it? You're fishing the shallow rock bars. What were the fights like? Were they rip them out, or what was it like?
Pretty much, yeah. Day 1 was very different to day 2. And day 1, they were climbing all over it. So you pretty much get the bite and then just try and skim them across the surface. Because where I'm fishing, you don't have much room. It'd be maybe a kayak width apart between rock bars and rock runs. So it didn't take much for them to turn left or turn right and do me. And I got done a couple of times, and that's my error for time on the water, I suppose, and just a different style of fishing I've been doing lately. I was retrieving the fish in, and as you would normally fight a fish, say, out in deep water, wind up, rod tip, and then drop the rod back to the water, wind up. That slight little bit of give gave the fish enough chance to absolutely do me.
Yeah.
So, but other than that, once I got through that and told myself, Jack, you got to just keep cranking that reel, it was good to go. So I had 2 31 fork fish in the bag and a 27 fork fish with half an hour to go, and then went to a cafe and threw an aqua under and threw out the 27 forker for a 35 forker, which was a very, very handy upgrade with 30 minutes to go. So
that's a big upgrade. What colour aqua did you throw at them?
The white one. It's the stock standard white one. Yeah. Yeah, just straight under the wharf where obviously the patrons and stuff eating their food and throwing stuff over the into the water.
Mm.
Yeah, cast in there before a couple of other anglers got to that particular jetty, and I was lucky to get a good bite. So
Yeah, right.
probably what made me shoot up into the pointy end. Otherwise, I was looking at probably about a 1.5 kilo bag. So yeah,
that's interesting.
sometimes you got to have a bit of luck go your way.
Yeah, luck or good management. What jig head are you running in those?
I was running a 140th. I find that the aquas sink very, very fast already, so it's good for high current waters.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, and purely because I didn't have any weedless worm hooks on me, and I couldn't be bothered to retire with that much time left. So it was a bit lazy on my part, but I got away with it.
Yeah, right. So the lazy approach works.
Yeah, the lazy approach. Yeah. So as I said, it was a very, very lucky upgrade because it had me in all sorts around poles and everything like that, and I was lucky to get it out. It was only on 4-pound line too. So
right, okay.
Everyone that fishes 12-pound and says they need to fish 12-pound, you're wrong. You just got to get lucky.
Fair enough. Mate, it's an interesting thing. So in the interviews I've done with this and general conversations, we've had everything from 4-pound through to 20-pound.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I suppose it's what you're comfortable throwing, and I could come down to angler's skill with throwing 4-pound or 20-pound, knowing how hard you can push the 4-pound, and you can absolutely flog 20 pounds. So and high gear ratioed reels make a big difference on that 20 pound.
Yeah, I think
even
so.
on the 4-pound, just getting the line back on the reel quickly makes a big difference.
100%. And what size reel are you running?
A 1,000 Surtate.
1,000. Mate, you must be able to wind fast.
Yeah, winding fast. And I mean, that was on the soft plastic rod. Most of my reels are 2,500. The old school dialers, so they're heavy, robust, good line ratio, and they're a bit bigger. So they're I kind of like them for doing what we were doing on the weekend.
Yeah, nice.
So,
nice.
Yeah, it was good.
All right, mate. So overnight, do you know where you were sitting?
I think I was sitting third by 10 grams or something like that.
Yeah, that sounds about right to me.
Yeah. So, and I knew going into day 2, as long as I could sort of replicate or have something within 200 grams of the bag, I was pretty comfortable having a solid top 10 result and chasing some angle of the year points. And the day 2 started, let's say, a little bit slower than day 1, but I did get a really, really nice fish first thing on, again, the Pro Lure shallow crank. I ran out of them on Saturday, and I was lucky enough to go on the scab or the hunt, let's say. The Easter egg, we'll call it the lure hunt. The Easter bunny came real early for me.
Right.
I was able to get some of the lures off some of the boys, so it was handy.
So who gave you some lures, mate?
Blake Parlington gave me a handful of them, and Brian Honeybrook also gave me one. So
yeah, nice.
That got me through to about 10:30, which was I found the crucial bite window sort of, for me, dropped off after that once the water got off the rocks.
Okay.
And then I could go back to a normal shallow crank bait after that. But yeah, day started slowly in bite terms, but the first fish I put in the box was a 36 forker. The lure was caught on an oyster bar, and I turned around and I was shaking it to flick it off, and it didn't flick off. The fish grabbed it and took off with it in its mouth, and I didn't realise how big the fish was until I put it in the net. So I was pretty stoked about that, and it was in front of Simon Morley, which is even better.
Oh, how good's that, mate? That's like the double win right there.
Absolutely. Catching a fish in front of somebody's a win, but when you catch a fish in front of somebody like Simon who's fishing the same stuff, it's even better.
100%. Same stuff, and also a champion angler.
Yeah, absolutely. So he's proved it time and time again with its consistent results and been up the pointy end more times than not. So
yeah, 100%. All right. Tell us about the rest of your day. How'd you go about filling your bag?
I found another spot on Saturday afternoon once the tide had dropped, and I went back there when the tide was up on Sunday and got a nice fish, another 31 fork fish, and then from there I went across to my other area that I like to fish and predominantly fish that, and there's a few people on it. I was like, oh, well, I'll just go in and keep fishing it as I do anyway. I'm not scared to fish behind somebody that's already gone over water, because no one's ever thrown the exact same thing or doing the same stuff. So filled my bag with a pretty smallish fish, and then upgraded that fish 2 or 3 times. So I think the best I could do was a 29 fork, which is 32 to the tip. But they were all chunky, so very fat and healthy fish, which was very, very helpful.
Really?
Rack fish. Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
I think they were 500 grams, and and 650 grams, or 450 and 600, something along those lines, which made a big difference to me staying up there and matching my day one bag.
That's right. Well, it was very similar. It also puts you you're only a couple of 100 grams behind Luke, but you're a few 100 grams above Ryan. So you're kind of comfortably in second.
Yeah. So it was nice to have a buffer. I actually didn't think it was going to be as big as what it was.
Sure.
And it surprised me a little bit when it went on the scales. So with not weighing all your fish in your bag purely for upgrade purposes, sometimes you don't know what it's going to weigh. And it's kind of nice not knowing what it's going to weigh. So it's a surprise for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. And mate, did you blow any over the weekend? Did you drop any ones that you went, I needed that?
Maybe on Saturday I dropped probably 2 crucial fish that would have been 3 or 4 centimetres bigger than what I already had in the bag. And that was just bad angling on my part, or bad line angles as well. So I had a leader go on me on Saturday, as I spoke about it before, having the rod angles fighting a fish, forgetting that I don't have the room to move and poling them in. I gave it an inch and it took a mile.
Yep.
And then on Sunday, I didn't really see a bigger fish other than what I already had in my bag. So I wouldn't say I threw it away as such or anything like that on Sunday. I just didn't have that many big bites or many bites in general. So
yeah,
I did have a kingfish come and smack my lure at the end of the day. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, nice. Oh, that's pretty good. And what about the cafe? You didn't give that a run on the Sunday?
I did. I got there 10 minutes too late because one of the other guys had gotten there and already got that 850 gram fish that I went back there for and late on day 2 to try and get. So if I'd gotten there 10 minutes earlier, I didn't have to get out of my kayak and drag it across some sandbars because I made stupidly the wrong decision and went the wrong way.
Yep.
I probably would have got there just before him and may have landed that fish, but that's in hindsight, what if basis. But it was good to see him catch a fish of that caliber out of there. So, yeah, it's one of those things. You zigged when you should have zagged, and I zagged.
Yeah, which happens. Which
does happen.
Mate, all in all, mate, a pretty good result. Quite a very good result. Did you just run 4 pound the whole weekend?
Oh, I had 4 on, I had 5 pound on, and I had 7 pound on on my crankbait rods, purely because of the way I was moving it and fishing it. I could get away with having the 7 pound, and the water clarity wasn't like what Forster normally is, I should say.
Yeah.
So you can get away with running that little bit heavier line, especially early in the morning while the light's low.
Yeah.
As the day gets on and the sun gets up, you sort of would have to drop a little bit, and I did that. I had one of my crankbait rods with 5 pound on, but I'm running probably 3 to 4 rod lengths at a minimum on my crank rods.
Okay.
Purely just that spook factor.
Yeah.
And when you're crankbaiting, you want to have room on that sort of stuff. If you do get a nick, you're able to cut it off and still have plenty of leader, not to have to retie on the water and cost you time.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool. And given, mate, it was the Pro Lure round, for anyone that didn't catch it before, what's your tip in terms of colours and what have you?
The black,
yep,
combat, and the motor oil UV were the 3 standouts at Forster in that murkier water.
Mm.
I found when the sun was up, the motor oil was fantastic. While it was low light, I stayed with the dark silhouette of the black and the combat.
Yeah, nice. And like they said, a little bit of sponsor karma there probably. So
yeah, I'm not a big believer in that, but it just so happened to work out to be the Pro Lure round, so which made it very good for Chris and the boys on stage.
Exactly, which made it sponsor karma.
Yeah, sponsor karma. Yeah, right. Let's roll with it.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, mate. That's a fantastic account of all that. So you ended up in second place. What did you get to take home for that?
I took home a nice check, a nice lure pack, sponsored lure pack that sort of replaced some of the lures I lost, some stuff to add to the stocks, and a couple of new lures I haven't seen yet, which I was looking forward to getting my hands on myself from Z-Man, and I ended up getting the new, it's like not a white bait, but a flick bait style, a soft plastic from Z-Man, which I'm actually really looking forward to giving a run up at Lake Macquarie in a couple of weeks' time when I sneak up for a pre-fish.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Nice. Very good. Very good. All right, mate, last thing before we shoot off and you can get back to the RSL, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to or say thank you to?
The boys from Hobie, as per usual, they run a fantastic event. They bend over backwards for us with the service they provide. I mean, Ryan and Blake, especially, the boys down at Fishing Station. I mean, some people might send me a text message after this podcast and go, hey, as our shout out. I mean, he knows who he is. And then, I mean, just the competitors make these events what they are. So you can't, without the competitors, you don't have this. So, yeah, big shout out to everyone like that, and keep coming back because we all love it.
Yeah, fantastic. All right, mate. Congratulations. And, mate, we will see you at Lake Macquarie for the next one.
Beautiful. Thanks, Ethy. I'll speak to you soon.
Thanks, mate. And then coming in third place, we have an angler dropping 3 fish for 2.59 kilos on the Saturday, backing it up on the Sunday with another 3 fish for 1.93, giving him a total of 4.52 fish. And his second win for 2 years in a row, I've got Luke Rogan. Welcome back to the show, mate.
How you going, Davey?
Mate, you backed it up. How good is that?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Mate.
I didn't think I'd do it twice.
Yeah, mate. I think it's a hard thing to do, but you've done it and done it in style. You've a couple of 100 grams in front, so you've done quite well.
Yeah, I do like Forster.
Me too. It's definitely, when it comes up on the calendar, I'm always cheering.
Yeah, same. I think I missed it a couple of years ago. Obviously, I won last year, but the year before I missed out, and I was just like, but let's just say when I was at work, nobody came near me.
That's fair enough. All right, mate. So for this one, did you get a chance to get down there and have a look around before? Or did you go down the Friday?
I went down Friday, but I didn't go out. I was just like, normally I'd go up the lake, like right up the back of the lake and go for a fish, but I don't know, I just didn't really feel it. I was like, I want to keep that motivation that I had driving down for the comp days.
Okay, very good. So then what was your plan? Was it sort of rinse and repeat of last year? Was that the idea?
Well, I did so well last year. I thought I had to check out my spots that I normally fish. And my first spot just went nuts, like just top water, skull dragging, giant brimble, like for the first at least 4 hours, I reckon.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. Okay. Tell us a bit about that. Let's start with, so you tell us where, roughly where you were and what your sort of setup was, because it's not just obviously fishing out in the middle of a weed flat. Like you're pretty much right in there.
I was just in the paddock, just fishing the normal racks that everybody else fishes.
Yeah.
I think I've just somehow nutted out a pattern that they like. Maybe it's the way I retrieve the lures. I don't know. And obviously, I'm using quite heavy gear.
Yeah.
I'm using my edge rod. One's a snapper rod and one's my light barra rod. Like, it's pretty crazy,
What sort of ratings are they on these?
Oh, I'm not too sure off the top of my head, to be honest, truth. But like, put it this way, one of them's, I've got a 5,000 size reel on one of them, and I think it's 2,500 or 3,000 on the other one.
Yep. Okay.
But they've both got 30-pound braid on them, and they're broomstick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So 5,000. Okay, I use 4,000s, but 5,000 size reel, 30-pound braid. What was your go-to leader?
I think it's super hard.
The V hard?
No, it's I think it's super hard. I think it's called. I don't know if they do it anymore, to be honest, truth, but I've got a fair few spools of it.
Yeah.
It's so abrasive resistant. Like on day 2, I got to the point where it was so hard to hook them, and I was just letting it sit there and letting them take it. And they were like, they'd take it down under stuff, and I was like, whoa, don't pull too hard on it. Just gently pull, and it would just come out. And I was like, can't do that very often.
Okay. And what? How heavy was it?
I had 14 and I had 20.
14 and 20. Okay. All right. Let's wind back to day 1. They're going off in the racks. So you're standing up on your kayak, leaning over a fence more or less.
Pretty much.
Casting in the middle of just danger country.
Uh-huh. The more danger, the better, I found.
Okay. And tell us about some of the hookups, like how did it look? Were you skull dragging them, or what did it look like?
Yeah, it was all skull dragging.
Yeah.
It was just literally just let them eat it. See, on day 1, they actually ate it properly. Like, they chase it down on the retrieve, and like you just see these big bow waves. And if it was a small bow wave, I just pull it away.
Okay.
And then you just wait for the big black bow wave, and you just stop it, pause it for a second. They just monster it, and you just start skull dragging pretty much.
Okay. And were you able to net them over the fence, or did you have to hoist them over?
Nah, the first 4 of them, I just swung them in.
Yeah.
They're actually quite, they're real strong. Like, even on such heavy gear, if you give them an inch, they will take you in there, like, especially when you're like 7 deep.
Yep.
You've got a full cast out there, and they eat it all out there, and you're like, oh,
we're in trouble.
It's literally just lean back, hold up high, and just winch.
Yeah, okay.
And some of them fall off because they're not hooked up properly, but some don't.
Some don't. And I don't think we said what lure are you running?
Well, I started off with bent minnows.
Mm-hmm.
Same deal. I was putting the heaviest duty hooks I could find on them without them sinking. And same deal. I was just twitching them around. They were just eating them.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. But then I lost a fair few of them.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy. Like the fish I caught were pretty big on day one. And I don't even know how big the ones I lost were. Like I had nothing.
Yeah, right.
Like I skull dragged a 44-car and swung it over the fence, and that was easy. So the other ones were way bigger than that. Yeah.
I would like to have seen that.
Me too. I'd like to have seen them land in my net, but
no, I would like to have seen you swing a 44 go over the fence.
Well, I didn't realise it was that big because when you hook them, you kind of you're just looking in the water to see where it is to make sure that its head is above the racks, and you're just winching. Like the 5,000, it was actually really good. Like I guess the ratio on it is, it's got a big ball handle on it, so I'm just literally just winching them. They get in the kayak and you're like, what happened?
Yeah, I think so. Well, like I said, I use a 4,000 when I'm doing that sort of stuff. And after coming away from the weekend, I went, maybe I need a 5,000. And then that's what you've said. So,
well, that's just what I had. That's on my barrow rod. So
right, okay.
I was like, that'll do.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
I still had all my normal boom rods.
So you obviously had your bag relatively early. You had fish on fire for the first few hours. How'd the rest of your day play out?
I was just catching 37s and throwing them back.
Right.
35s, 37s. I stopped fishing really hard because I was like I knew I had a pretty good bag. And then I was like, well, you need to just relax, stop catching so many fish because they won't be there the next day.
Yeah. So you got to preserve your spot and manage it a little bit.
Yeah, I tried to, but it didn't work.
No.
I should have just kept going.
It makes me sad hearing you throwing 37s back because I would have liked a couple of them.
I think all the people that were around me stalking me would have liked them too, to tell the street.
Fair enough. All right. Was there anything else about Saturday we need to discuss before we move on?
Not really. It was just weird. Like there was a solid meter above the racks on the first day, and on the second day, I don't even reckon there was half a meter on it. It's like the tide didn't even come in.
Well, that's interesting. I know it was much slower on the Sunday morning when we left off the launch. I went, oh, this is definitely a bit slower. Even coming out of the marina there, it was definitely a lot slower. The other thing I would say about your Saturday, and I don't know whether this played into it, you had a major bite period at sort of 10 o'clock through to 12:30 in round numbers.
That's when it kind of died off.
Yeah, okay.
Which is real weird. So maybe it was just, I think because it was so high in the morning on the first day that they were just up there in their rack. They felt safe. They were feeding.
Yeah. I think that's probably exactly what I was going to say in terms of sometimes about those locations, it's not where in the tide or this, it's just how much water are they in.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So if the water height's right, then you're going to get the fish.
Yeah, that's it.
So, yeah. All right. Well, like we said, on the Saturday, you came back with 2.59, which had you firmly in first place.
Yeah.
With a pretty nice handy little lead. What was your plan for Sunday?
Rinse and repeat.
Yep, same.
After last year, though, like day two it just didn't hold up. Honestly, I can't understand because I didn't fish it that hard last year on the first day because I literally caught a few, like 3 good fish, and I was like, in my head, I was like, oh, these are really good fish. Probably could have kept fishing and caught bigger ones, but I thought, no, same deal. I'll just save it, and you just got to go for it. You can't.
Yeah, wow.
I still don't understand, 2 years in a row. Like on day 2, this comp, I got to the same place and it just looked different. Like I was like, oh, what the hell's going on here? And I'm like, well, the tide's an hour different. So I thought, well, I'll just keep fishing. So I probably fished in the same spot for about 4 hours. Look, I did have in the first thing in the morning, I had some pretty critical bites that I missed, probably about 4. Yep. Really good fish. Like they came right to the edge of where I was fishing and tried to eat the lure, and I just pulled it straight out of their mouth.
Right. Ouch.
Yeah, like, what do you do?
Yeah.
And then probably about 2 hours into my session, I caught a 29 and a half tipper, I think it was. And I was like, oh, I finally got one in the bag. I was cheering. I'm like, oh, they're going to come on the bite. Nah, just kept fishing. Got to 11 o'clock and I went, well, 11 o'clock was when they shut down on the first day. I have to do something else. And by that stage, there's quite a few other people in the same little area that I was having cast. Nobody was catching anything, though. A lot of them came and left. And I was like, well, if they're not catching anything either, I need to do something else. So decided to ditch the spot. I was like, well,
oh, no.
that's it. Yep. I paddled down and I found another spot. Yeah, I found another spot. And I just thought, well, I'll just try the same thing, just suicide cast. You know, just up high. The second they eat it, just start winching. If they fall off, they fall off. And second cast, oh man, I hooked a real big one in like probably a foot of water.
Yeah, nice.
You know, like those real shallow racks, and it just came out of nowhere. Just ate it, and then was like, "See you later." I had nothing at all.
Okay.
I gave him the same treatment as the rest of them, and he was like, "Nope,
no, not today.
Not having them, not today." And I was like, "Well, they're here." And I'm like, "Well, at least they're biting here." So I persisted. I worked all the way down, and I got a few sort of hits, misses, and then I went around the other side of it, and there was because there was more poles in that one than actual racks. Like there were just the poles,
Okay.
the racks were gone. But then when I went around the other side, there was a few like still racks on there. And I was like, oh, maybe there's some fish under them. So cast it over there, and like I think third cast, I got a 38 and a half.
Nice.
So I was like, all right, well, I've got two now.
Yeah.
I just need that third one. And I just kept fishing and fishing and fishing. I got roasted about 4 times because it's it was so gnarly. Like the posts are literally, you've probably got an inch of water over it.
Yeah.
Like it's even with surface, just to twitch it over that without it getting snagged up, it's pretty damn hard.
Yeah.
So I was like just up high. And then I left there and I think I was sort of going to myself, all right, this is going to be the same as last year. I'm going back with 2 fish again. This is not good. And then I thought to myself, I'm just going to go to the bridge and I'll throw some crabs around the bridge. And on the way to the bridge, I found like this real heavy current pushing against some poles on the same rack system that I started on in the morning. And I was like, oh, well, I'll just throw a crab in. Threw a crab in, nothing. Threw it in again. I got snagged. And I was pretty angry at that stage.
Yeah.
So I'm giving it some very violent jerks to try and get it off, or even just to snap it, but because it's pretty heavy, the gear. And then all of a sudden it just went tick, tick, and I got a bite, and I was like, what the hell? And it was off, and there was a fish on there, and it was a 36 and a half. And I was just, it fought so hard in the current. I was like, well, I thought it was a giant flathead or something, you know?
Yeah, right.
But the current was ripping, and I finally got that one to the net, and that was the end of my day, really. I just paddled around in circles for a little bit longer.
Wow. So you landed 3 fish for the day.
Yep.
Ouch. And donated
much too many lures.
Yeah, wow.
Way too many.
There you go. You gave away all your favourite bent minnows.
Yeah, but you can't be scared in there. If you're scared, there's no point. You're not going to catch big ones if you're scared. Like to lose some lures and some gear. You just have to do it and just suck it up.
That's it. And take first place, and then it's all good.
Exactly.
So
like it hurts. It hurts. It definitely hurts when you're like 8 bent minnows down.
Yes. I don't think I have 8, so that would hurt.
Yeah.
All right. So, mate, you go back to the weigh-in. How are you feeling? You confident?
Yes and no. Well, I still had 2 pretty good sized fish, like if I caught them on the Gold Coast, I'd be thinking that sort of size fish, especially 38 and a half, I thought that'd be like 800, maybe 900 grams.
Yeah.
Especially being down there, I thought it might have been a bit bigger. And then, 36 and a half, I think it was, would have 600-700 grams, I would have thought. Yeah. But then I think the little one is what really sort of hurt me a bit, and I was a bit worried about that. But I'm very glad he came in the net, I can tell you right now.
100%. I was going to say you needed that. You were, without that fish,
I was done.
Not happening for you.
Well, Gammie he was real consistent. He got consistent bag on day 1, consistent bag on day 2, which is what you got to do.
Yeah.
That's how you win.
Exactly. All right. I think we've covered your lines and leaders and obviously your bent minnows. I don't think there's much else to discuss with regards to the fishing. You've got a 5,000 size reel, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I might buy another one for next time.
I think you and about half a dozen other guys.
I think so.
All right. Tell us, mate, what did you get to take home for this one?
I think it was $1,750. Plus, I took out Big Brim, which was another $250, thanks to Anaconda.
Nice.
And I also got a whole bunch of Anaconda gift cards.
Really?
Yep. And I also got a rod. I think it was St. Croix rod.
St. Croix rod. Yeah, very nice.
Lovely rod. Yeah, so I sold that at the caravan park. So
beautiful.
It was a very, very nice rod, and I'm very grateful for their support, obviously, on the series. But yeah, somebody wanted it more than me. Yeah, and somebody wanted it more than me too. So
yeah, fair enough.
I was very happy.
Fair
enough.
Yeah,
I think I would have ended up at 2.6, something like that.
Yeah, very good.
Which I think is very good.
Yeah, no, I reckon that's great. That's great, especially at a venue like Forster. I mean, yeah, definitely one of my favourites.
Yeah, well, it'll help pay for some more bent minnows and some other surface lures.
Yeah, that's it. And another reel.
Yeah. And hopefully it might even get me down to the next round. So if I get it in time.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, mate. Well, mate, last thing before we shoot off, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to or say thank you to?
Obviously, massive shout out to Hobie crew. They're just, without them, this just wouldn't happen. And these are literally what drives me through the day, is to go to these events and hang out with the boys and girls, sorry. It's just a great event. And obviously Fish Tech Solutions, they look after me real well with all my everything, pretty much, rod reels, well, not reels, but rods, tackle.
Yep.
And obviously my wife, she's awesome, and she actually gives me drive and pushes me to do it, so I'm very lucky.
Absolutely. All right, mate. Well, look, congratulations on backing it up. I think that's very impressive. Yeah, hopefully we see you at the next round.
Hopefully I'll be there.
Thanks, mate.
No worries. Thank you.
Okay, so there it is. Another round of Forster done and dusted for the Hobies. This has been a great year in terms of Forster. We've done 2 ABTs up there. We've now done a Hobie. We've got a New South Wales tournament ones to follow up with. So if you're into Forster, there is going to be so much information for you to put together from the Brim Fishing Project. That backed up with all the years before. Yeah, it's just going to be a wealth of knowledge. I hope you guys enjoy it. All right, that's all from me. Thanks for tuning in, and I will talk to you next week, or actually maybe on Thursday. I think I'm going to release another one. Just get through a bit of this backlog. Anyway, we'll talk to you soon on the Brim Fishing Project.
Thanks for listening. Hopefully you were informed, inspired and entertained. If you were able to learn something or just enjoyed listening, please consider subscribing and rate us on your favourite podcasting platform.